Hi, I'm David Norris, and I'm serving up the perfect podcast, Pompey Platter with Russ, Daz and Haz. Play up, Pompey!
And Murphy scores! A magnificent goal! That's just wonderful from Josh Murphy! Shaughnessy, great saving! Shaughnessy at the near post! Chance for Colby Bishop over the goalkeeper, off the post and into the back of the net! Colby Bishop! Lang's got his fourth! A fourth for Callum Lang!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Pompey Platter podcast, season 2, episode 30, back to the drawing board. Tonight is going to be a short one, but I am joined by Haz and Daz. Boys, you alright?
Was probably better when we were 1-0 up on Saturday than we are now. But, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, good, mate. Yeah, and as has said, when we won it up at Blackburn, because I was actually there for the first, I was actually in an away game for God knows how long. But I mean,
I was looking at it thinking it was all done and dusted at 1-0.
Well, we could see. I was a bit wary, but obviously being a Pompey fan for so many years, you could see it coming.
And, of course, it had to be an ex-Pompey player as well.
Yeah. Right, so we're just going to quickly review the last 2 games, have a look at the head of Derby on Monday night on Sky. I'm assuming it's on Sky, that's why it's been moved.
It is.
And that'll be it for tonight, unless we're really quick, and then we can get Harry's or MI in, and I'm going to talk really fast for the rest of it. Right. Right, so Blackburn, I ain't going to lie, boys, as you were there, I got really bored. I can't remember any of the game, because I just went on my phone. I generally can't remember anything that happened for either team until Ogilvy scored. So, Daz, as you were there, do you want to give a bit of what the crowd was like, the atmosphere? Oh, by the way, one thing about the atmosphere, Blackburn, worst fans I've ever seen in my life. That was disgusting.
Bearing in mind it was on main event. Obviously, they've actually got the proper cameras and audio equipment and everything. Yeah. I genuinely thought they'd had to mute the crowd because they were that quiet.
Daz, were they that quiet in the stadium?
Yeah, they only piped up a couple of times. I don't know, because obviously the way, because Blackburn's been a ground I've wanted to go to for ages, because obviously I'm old enough to remember obviously when they won the Premier League and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, same here.
So it's always been, I've always liked Blackburn in a way, mainly because of that, because I loved Shearer and Sutton at the time and that kind of thing. What an iconic kit and that kind of stuff. So I was looking forward to going there, but because obviously I went up with my other half and I did warn her that
it's a shithole.
That outside, but it's obviously it's going to be next to it's going to be pretty empty, to be honest. I'm not sure how many fans there were exactly, but the stand 5,000 or 5?
Just 5. 5 home fans.
I think what doesn't help is that in their main stand behind the goal for their home fans, their standing section is right in the corner, which I found quite weird. I don't understand why it just isn't down the middle of the stand, but that's where they're where their safe standing is. That's where you expect where the singing and the more like the back of the fratting end kind of thing. So I don't know whether that has a part to play. Also, where they are in the league, along with I think ongoing thing with their owners, which has been going on for God knows how long now. So that doesn't help. But yeah, I mean the atmosphere from the Pompey fans was pretty good. I can only remember off the top of my head maybe 5 or 10 minutes in the first half, and then in the second half where there wasn't much singing, but the majority of it was there's always songs going on. And what I did because obviously I haven't been to an away game for a little while, maybe 1 or 2 seasons, that there's a lot more variety of the songs that come out quite a lot rather than at home at Fratton, where it's probably down to about 2 or 3 different songs. Where away from home, it's pretty much everyone gets a bit. But yeah, the atmosphere, it was good from our end. It was enjoyable, and I think that kind of game, I still enjoyed it, but that's obviously because I'm there and the atmosphere and that kind of stuff and singing. If I was watching it at home, I think I'd be like you two boys. I'd probably would have been bored.
Oh, mate, I've obviously probably get stuffed away from home, and I still loved it.
Yeah, but that's it, isn't it? Like when, like, because you're sort of at it. I was like, I mean, I would have taken like a draw for me. Was sort of the minimum I wanted was a score draw, because obviously when you're travelling that far, you want to see at least a goal and you want at least a point out of it. But to be honest, I think it was not Andrew Moon said it. Neil Allen, I think it was. He said that if it was 0-0 at the end of the game,
I'd be way happier.
You probably wouldn't have felt as frustrated as we were. Obviously, it finishing the way it did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was actually like, even though I was bored and was on my phone because literally nothing. I generally can't remember anything happening other than they missed a chance early on, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, they should have scored that.
I thought, well, it's all right. It's boring. It's shit, but I'll take it. But is there anything like? Did you get bored? Like, can you remember anything else that we could talk about before the 2 goals?
Not when both teams only had one shot on target each, and that's the both goals that they scored. It was a very boring game, wasn't it? It was a real. You could tell that it was 2 teams that were struggling in the league and had little to no tempo, attack, effort, creativity, fire, anything really. It was like a bit of the teams didn't have that, and also they didn't want to be the ones to make the mistake because they knew kind of, I think the players on both teams knew kind of what the outcome could have been if you were to lose the game. So I think both teams were also playing with a bit of hesitancy because they didn't want to be the ones to go behind. But when we got that goal, so, at the 84th minute, you are thinking, here we go, that's probably, we can see this out, we're laughing. But to concede so late on, it felt like a defeat, and it just, with the other results, I said before, we've got to stop looking at other results around us and we've got to actually win some. And we've got to the point where other teams are now getting games. Teams won and got results at the weekend. Teams are winning tonight around us. As of Wednesday, obviously, Leicester won last night as well. So that 5-point cushion that we had, was 6 points at 85 minutes, has now gone to 1 or 2 points now. So it's made it a hell of a lot more uncomfortable very, very quickly. And if we would have had a bit more concentration, and we just went way too deep, way too soon. We were not on it. As soon as we scored, it was like we thought, well, that's it. It's like we felt we scored in the 93rd minute, and that we were just waiting for the ref to blow the full-time whistle when we still had another almost 10 minutes to play. And Blackburn were always going to come at it, and we just allowed them to do it. So draws are probably a fair result on paper. But when you go 1 up on the 84th minute, you're probably pissed off that you don't win.
Yeah, and it was one of them where Blair should have done better. No one went with Carter, and then like I still, goalies make mistakes. I still don't quite get how Schmidt didn't just save that. I couldn't believe what I was watching when it went in. But it was like an all-rounded.
Again, yeah, and obviously Schmidt probably should do better, and he knows he should. But it's a whole kind of accumulation of mistakes that if you go step by step, there's so many different areas that we could have done better, and to prevent the ultimate final mistake in Nico mishandling the save. You go back 2, 3, 4 people, and we had instances to sort it out, and we didn't.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Anything else you want to talk about with Blackburn, or?
To be honest, I felt that, especially in the first half, Blackburn were happy to sit in and then try and catch us on the break. I mean, I don't know what our possession stats were, but I think we were the only team that was sort of looking to sort of like play an overall game rather than just sitting in and catching them on the break and that sort of stuff. I thought like we got in again. I think this has been our issue for quite a few games, is getting ourselves in pretty good positions, but then not being able to inject that last little piece which sort of opens something up and gives us a really good opportunity. Especially in the first half, we were sort of stuck to like the shots that we did have were sort of in and around the box and like going over and things like that, which I'm okay with us having shots from the edge of the box and like pulling the trigger whenever you can, especially if you're playing against a team that sit in. But we do need a bit more guile to get us in to better positions where it's sort of more of a chance of maybe getting a shot on target and things like that. But I mean, it's. It does feel like obviously it is 2 points dropped, but mainly because of the situation we were in that last 5-10 minutes where if it's 0-0 at the end of the game, you probably think it's more of a point gain, which is it's frustrating.
Yeah. Right. Should we move on to the probably arguably one of the worst games of, well, maybe not football, but Pompey of the season? I'm sure the Swansea would argue that wasn't a bad game to watch. But from a Pompey perspective, I'd say that's definitely the worst I've seen since Sheffield Wednesday this season. Where literally I couldn't even, when they announced man of the match, I kind of just laughed. I was like, who would you give it to?
Who was it? I'd left by then.
Adams.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. But I was like, who'd you give it to? Like, it was just.
I'd have given it to Ethan Galbraith personally.
A couple of weeks ago, I can remember, I think I said on the pod, keep playing well, and results will come. They didn't, because we can't put the ball in the net to save our life unless it gets deflected. And then the issue is when we don't play well, we seem to can't even scrape anything.
I mean, it felt as if Swansea didn't even need to try. That first half, it was. Bearing in mind that we've said how well we have played, and we've been dominating possession, we've been dominating shots on target as well. Probably since Preston onwards, really. Apart from Blackburn, it kind of started to deviate slightly with the shots, obviously. But we've been so on top, and we've said that the more you play like that, the better, and the points will come. Obviously, they did against Charlton and Millwall, and Sheffield United were unlucky, cause of our own problems. Hull again the same. But this was so far away from that. And bearing in mind there was only 2 changes in the whole of the base of the team. The back five's the same. The 2 sitters are the same. The only changes were Brown as the 10. Jojo as well. Because Paul was injured. So you're only changing 2 players out of the 11. So 2 players in that 11 changing shouldn't alter the way you play by that much, and you just drop off a cliff effectively. And you could see that. Eom had Terry Devlin in his pocket from the first whistle. Terry Devlin had a terrible game, and he can have a terrible game because he's our player of the season so far. Everyone's allowed a bad game, but everyone's seen. We've had this problem before where it's not just one person has a bad game; it's the whole team seems to have a bad game on the same night. So the whole thing just goes to out the panel, and the whole throw the baby out with the bathwater almost.
But it was just continual long balls to nobody.
The trouble is that Bishop wasn't doing too bad. I don't think he was winning headers, but it's the same problem again. Is
no one's there.
There's no one near him. I thought, when I saw Brown playing, I thought maybe it's a 4-4-2, and I thought at least maybe Brown was going to be a bit closer to him, thinking, maybe, he knows that Bishop's going to win the headers. and he's going to get Brown close to him to win the flick-ons. But no, he was winning flick-ons. Some of them weren't great, but some of them were decent flick-ons, but there was no one anywhere near him. Brown was way too deep again, and it has to be tactical. The number 10 is so deep. He's not really playing as a 10. It's more of an 8. But the ball from the goal, for their first goal, it was way too easy. Daz was saying on a group chat earlier, I mean, it was a lovely ball from Vigouroux, over the top. Jojo and Devlin kind of left it for each other. Eom touched it down, and it happened time and time again. But even before they scored, where Eom had it and had Devlin out on the wing, and Galbraith was kind of playing the inside man from the midfield, and he had so much time every single time he got the ball to put it on his left, to cross it or whatever. He had so much time. It was so poor. And this time he had the most time I think I've ever seen a player have on the edge of the box in a long time. The fact that he got it and it arrived and it was shaped up to be his left foot, and he had the time to completely run round the entire ball and kind of come round in a right old semicircle to then shoot with his right. And you can't say it was a great finish. It was a really good finish from Galbraith, because I was right behind it, and you could see as he started that run round it to get it onto his right, you could see what he was going to do, and it was a great finish. And
it was a great finish, but we just let him shoot.
But that's the problem. Is my point is that, and it happened pretty much a carbon copy on the right for Josh Key as well. Obviously, the right back this time, is that
how that ain't got down as an own goal, I'll never know, because
it hasn't. Well, according to FootMob, it's still Josh Key's goal.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why. It was going nowhere near the goal. It hit one of our players and Luke.
It hit Millie Ali, didn't it? Yeah. But again, they had it down in the corner, and there's a player on the edge, on the corner of the box, just completely free.
Who did the mad pass?
Midfielders aren't fucking bothered to mark him like they weren't bothered to mark Galbraith. And he's had the time to touch and shoot. It got slightly lucky with the deflection off of Millie Ali off his back. I mean, the guy next to me was blaming Nico for it. And I thought, what the fuck are you blaming? Why are you blaming Nico? There's nothing he could have done about that.
That was right top corner.
And as soon as that went in, really, Swansea should have just gone for the kill. And they didn't. And they did take the foot off the gas. But even when they did in the second half, I never felt like we were going to score. And obviously we did, but even when we got one back, I never felt like we were going to come back and draw. It just was too easy for him. It was like a day out. It was just like a nice day out with the lads for Swansea. It was like what the first half was year 11s versus year 7s.
Mate, it's the thing is with Swansea, like I said this to the lad next to me, when we had the ball from the back, it didn't look like we had an idea of what we're doing, where we're going to go.
Oh, they were excellent.
When Swansea had the ball, and I mean Swansea have done this for like decades, haven't they? Now, like where they play a particular style of football, and I think, to be honest, for us, two main reasons why. Well, one, we were most of our players looked absolutely done for. Like they all looked tired. And the second thing, I think playing Brown and Bishop was a massive mistake for Messino. And people could say, oh, maybe it's looking at hindsight, but you could see it in the first 5-10 minutes that when you got a team like Swansea, and those three, was it Franco, Galbraith and Fulton, they alternate who's that deep line centre midfielder. And if you haven't got a 10 that picks up one of those players, they'll just pass it around you for fun. And that's exactly what they did. Every time they had the ball, they looked to go to either one of the three in centre mid who would drop in, or they would then look to go wide and play they did the same thing as us sometimes, where they went to the centre back and then to the full back a bit higher, and then played from there. But the difference is between us and them is that they moved the ball so much quicker than us,
and they passed it forward.
But the thing is, we did as well, like to a certain extent, because obviously, as the two centre backs, there's only one way they can go, and that's forward. So, unless they go back to the keeper, but if they're looking to play anyone else bar the keeper, they were going forward. But the problem was when we did it, we took 2, 3, 4 touches. They took a maximum of 2. They'd get out their feet and move it quickly. And I think that was a massive sign of us being so lethargic and so tired. And
Sorry, go on.
I was just saying it was like, if it wasn't against Pompey, I actually quite enjoyed watching Swansea. I liked the way they moved the ball. They're like, if you look at those three in centre mid, they're not like Ebu Adams' type of athletic players. They're like your Barcelona three. Do you mean with Iniesta, Busquets, and Xavi?
Xavi.
Xavi, just tidy players who move the ball. They're not big in stature. Like, they just like to move the ball nice and quickly, get them like pass and move into an area, find some space, and then play from there. And then they give it to the more athletic players.
Any Swansea
In the
fans
front three.
listening, just know that Daz has just compared your midfield to possibly the best midfield we've ever seen
Yeah,
in history.
from a
My jaw
stature.
did just hit the floor.
From a stature point of view, if you look at those three,
No, I understand what you mean.
they're not these big athletic unit centre mids. They're not like a Rodri and people like that. They're like tidy, small centre mids who like don't have to. They can't compete physically, so they have to like move the ball in a different way. Those three for Barcelona were the same. They're not going to really compete in a physical way. They don't want to get drawn into a physical battle. What they want to do is 1-2 touches and just like play little triangles, and you can't get anywhere near them. So it's all well and good being like like a Stoke City, big units and being able to bully players. But if you can't get hold of the player, you can't bully them. And that's exactly what that Swansea midfield three were like. And it was, I said, if it wasn't against Pompey, I did enjoy the way they moved the ball. And the thing is, I think they made it look easy. When in fact, if you saw the amount of their movement, that was the issue again for us, because obviously Pack and Adams, like they couldn't. They were pretty much. It was 2 against 3, pretty much, because Brown wasn't playing in like a 10 position. I'm not too sure where he was really meant to be playing, whether he's meant to be playing as a front two or whether he was meant to be a 10. I couldn't really work it out. But yeah, it was a combination of things that really sort of done us last night.
Other things that done us last night, which is something Messino said after the Blackburn game, is ourselves.
Yeah.
You look at what on earth's happened to Ali lately. Do you think it's more of an issue of, does he need a rest, or has he been found out?
Probably.
I'd say, to me, he's been more found out than anything. Teams just know now, just push him to the byline. He can't cross the ball really. Like, he's not really that good at it. Put 2 on him, and there's nothing he can do.
I think it's a mixture of probably both. They've been doubling up on him. And he's also then not getting the support from Swanson. I do think that probably we need to go back to an actual proper back four now. We've got centre halves available, where Ogilvie needs to go back to left back. And we need to have Bowat with Jojo or something like that, or Shocks if he's going to be ready for Monday. Just to actually have some proper balance, because again, it feels like that left side is struggling a lot, and they know to try and send Swanson down the outside, which is on his weak foot, and he put the ball out of play quite a few times yesterday, trying to pass it with his left. Ogilvie was struggling with his passing out from centre half. It's not his natural position. Again, he's done well for a good amount of time, but now we've got the players available in the correct positions. Let's put square holes in square pegs, or square pegs in square holes. Sorry. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because also with the likes of Ali, is who else is there? He might be tired. He might be a bit found out. But who else is there? Harvey Blair is Harvey Blair is the equivalent of having a wet fart. Because you think you're going to do it, but you just fart. He's got the tricks. He's got pace, but he's got no end products whatsoever. He can't cross the ball and he can't shoot.
Sounds about all our wingers, to be honest.
But this is why he needs. It goes back to problems way beyond what we're at. He needs the development loan, doesn't he, to get on it and play regular football and get that going. But he just doesn't have that, and we're not in the position. We're not in the position to be able to give players like that a chance because we don't have that luxury. We're in a relegation fight, and I would rather play someone that's been through a relegation or unsuccessful in Ali last year. I'd rather play him than a Blair, and I think that's why Messino's the same, and I think that's probably why he's still sticking with Bishop, because he knows that he can do it rather than stick someone that's not in the right position up there.
But then, do you find that I found it odd that Brown scored?
Yeah.
Why did Brown get taken off? You got a player who's buzzing. He's just scored. You're just taking him off.
I was saying earlier in our group chat, I thought the substitutions were a bit bizarre, and they were at completely the wrong time. Obviously, Chaplin came on at half time for Ali. I think was a fair change. It gives Ali a bit of a rest as well. But Segacic on for Brown wasn't really keen on that because we could already see by that point that Ibu was already pointing to the bench that whether it was calf behind his knee or his hamstring, I couldn't quite tell, but he was signalling to the bench that there was something wrong, and they just basically ignored him. And either he said, I can play on, but they shouldn't have taken that chance. He's such a key player. We can't be taking these chances. For me, when we took on Segacic for Brown, it should have been Ibu or Pack, and probably Ibu because he was the one injured. Take him off, bring on Segacic, leave Pack to literally sit in front and almost kind of create a back three. Let your fullbacks push on and play Segacic and Chaplin as your 2 10s. Maybe that's too obvious. Maybe it's not obvious enough. I don't know if that's what I would have done. And the one where I left when John Swift came on for Jojo, because that made no sense whatsoever to me at all. It was a very bizarre sub. Taking off your tallest player on the pitch, putting a midfielder to centre half to bring on another midfielder was almost a Kenny Jackett substitution. It was out of the Kenny Jackett book 101. And it made no sense to me. I just think at this point of the season, just go for it. Put on all the players. Do, what I suggested. Play the 2 10s. Put on Blair as well. Just fucking go for it. You're losing anyway. If you lose 3-1, oh well, you've lost anyway. Go for it. Put all the attackers. I know Harvey Blair's not very good. I've just said he's shit. But at least get all your attacking options before the 88th minute. I just think all round last night was just pretty poor. But at least we've got an extra few days off to get our shit together for Monday.
Des, you said in our group chat, I don't look at Twitter anymore because it drives me insane. That people were giving Jojo shit on his debut. On his starting debut. I know he's come off the bench a couple of times, I think. I generally thought he was terrible last night, but they all were. So it's harsh to just pick it on him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not like everyone I saw on there, but there was quite a few people. And don't get me wrong, he didn't it wasn't like an outstanding debut and stuff like that. But for his first one, coming from where he's coming from, I didn't really see him make many mistakes per se. I was trying to think of some off the top of my head, but I couldn't really, to be honest. He moved the ball pretty well. It wasn't anything outrageous. I saw someone saying he's the worst centre back he's seen of a Pompey player since he started supporting Pompey. I was like, that's just...
There was a really weird, bizarre moment, about a 2-minute period where I don't know if you boys saw it, where he first went and did this weird am I going this way? Am I going that way? To one of their players. And then just passed it, and it was what the fuck was that about? You're losing. Why are you trying to take the piss? And then he kind of tried to do it again, and then they just took the ball off him. And he made him look like a right twat. I don't know if that's what stuck in people's minds.
Might have done, but I think that's a bit too much like just picking on one thing and going with that. But apart from that, I thought he looked okay. Again, he's not like he didn't pull up any trees exactly, but again, no one really did. I think the reason that Messino may have taken him off was because one, he was on a booking, and two, like his match fitness. Same thing with Brown. Like I could probably guess, and funny enough, he took a whack just before he went off as well. So whether or not he would have been able to carry on properly, don't know. But yeah, I like. Thing is, because we were so bad last night, that there was overreaction. Not overreaction, but people were going even further with how they felt on social media and stuff like that because it was so bad overall. I can't. Like Adams and that lot have tried. Obviously, a player who probably should have got man of the match for me. I'm not going to say player of the match, and he said that then. Man of the match would probably have been Chaplin. I thought out of everyone, he came on. He probably should have started in that 10, especially the way like Swansea plays. We said, but he came on. He gave us a bit more energy. Moved the ball out quite well to wingers when he had the chance, which is what we've we should be this way we should be playing. And obviously he was unlucky the fact that he had scored but the board gone out. Quickly just touch on the alley thing, and I think our wingers at the moment, because we said about Caballero that he's going to be dipping in and out still because of where he's come from and that kind of stuff. Ali has needed a rest for ages, or coming off on the 60th minute or stuff like that, because he looks dead and buried with 15 minutes left to go. So I obviously last night was probably his worst game for us, but that's probably been coming because he hasn't had the chance to rest up properly. And I think that's affecting him because when he first started off and those first games where he really lit up the place was when, okay, he held on to maybe the ball one too many touches, but he then got to the byline and pulled it back. Where now he's taken too many touches and then he's not going at the fullback, which he was really good at. I think last night was a prime example. He started going and there's a big space in front of him and he just checked back on himself and it was kind of just pushed the ball out there. But I think that's down to him not being confident enough because of his fitness, and probably he's probably been playing way too much football. And Caballero, he always needs a bit more space in behind, and I think he's playing a lot of football, and especially in the Championship, it's totally different to South American football. So I think again, if we had the strength in depth, then we might be able to rotate better, but we obviously don't have it.
Right, let's move on to Derby then.
Indeed. So Derby.
Someone got 3 points. What's the league table at now?
Oh, we don't really need to look at that.
Let's have a look at the table.
So no one got any points for Swansea, but someone called Jamie O'Hara or Russ
got there, Jamie.
he got storm out. I feel like you'll storm off this one day.
No, do you know what? I wasn't even that angry last night. I accepted it after about 10 minutes. We're going to lose this game.
Yeah, I was just, as Dad said, I was just sitting there enjoying Swansea rather than getting annoyed at us. You predicted a 1-1 draw for the Blackburn game, so you get 3 points.
Yeah.
So you extend your lead to 10 points ahead of Daz. So you're on 33, Daz is on 23, and I'm on 19. So I'm not too far behind.
No, I like to think I'm staying up.
Yeah, you're a Swansea pretty much.
Yeah, I'm sure I should be safe.
So Derby, they are currently 7th in the table on 54 points. So kind of just outside the playoffs, really, only by 3 points. So they're probably doing a lot better than probably what we thought they would, and probably themselves probably thought they would as well. 15 wins, 9 draws, 13 losses, goal difference of +6. Sorry, hang on. Team is pretty good. They've got a main man up front, not the Patrick Adjumang that we know and love, but another one. They signed him from, I think it was Charlotte FC.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So 34 games, 10 goals and 3 assists this season. It's not a bad return for your first season in the champ. I mean, you've got Ben Brereton Diaz with 5 goals, 3 assists. Sammy Schmodix has got a couple of goals since coming in. Rhian Brewster, 6 goals, 2 assists. You've got Joe Ward at right back, who's got 7 assists from there. Matt Clark at centre-half's got 3 goals. So they're kind of sharing around. Carlton Morris has got 10 goals as well, and he's kind of on the bench. So, yeah, I mean, you would be scoring plenty of goals when you're up there. Little stat I got from Twitter, which was from Harvey Marks, so I'll give him credit for that one, is that
I know what you're going to say.
We've lost our last 3 home games. They've lost their last 3 away games. So let's see what happens. What did you think it was going to be?
I just thought it was going to be one of them. No one rates us. Everyone hates whatever it is he says every time.
Oh, no, that only comes out when we win. But I do like that. No, this is they haven't won their last 3 away games. We haven't won our last 3 home games.
Yeah. I'd just like to point out Charlton are beating Borough. And again, and I don't know how Charlton do it, they're getting battered. And yet they're winning. They do it all the time. Why can't we be them? They're like the opposite.
I mean, we did beat Borough this year, so...
No, but what I mean is like every time I see Charlton win, I go look at the stats. They have like 2 shots and 20% of possession. You're like,
it's the Nathan Jones way of playing football.
Oh, let's see. Just I hate Charlton.
Last time we beat Derby at Fratton Park, boys.
The cup game.
Yeah. Chaplin and McGurk.
Yeah, well, I couldn't think of the other one, but I remember Chaplin scoring.
So, referee for the game is Adrian Backhouse. So far, he's refereed 19 championship games and shown 84 yellow cards. Refereed 1 Pompey game this year, which was our 1-0 home win against Middlesbrough, funnily enough, as we were literally just talking about that. So, who is going to go first?
Go on, you go, Haz. You need the points.
No, I'll decline that and give it one of you two.
I'm cruising at the top, so you go, Des.
Go on then. We need to win.
Monday night under the lights.
Yeah, we need.
But on Sky.
Gary Reaver with his monologue of bullshit.
Yeah, I'm gonna as I said, I'm gonna go again with Russ's way of thinking. His scoreline is not as important as maybe the goal scorer. Let's just go 2-1 Pompey because I want to be positive.
Can you sound it when you say it, then, please?
Yeah, but it's Wednesday. I'm not doing
it's
it
not.
a different day.
We're playing Derby. We're not playing Wednesday.
No, but what I mean is I'm usually building myself up, and then I'll hit it tomorrow.
Hello?
I'll hit top level tomorrow.
Am I still here? Sorry.
You are. Yes, Jamie, you are still there.
No, it's weird. My phone popped up saying I wasn't here, but carry on.
You're there. 2-1 Pompey. Goal scorer. This is going to be fucking interesting, isn't it? Let's go Con Ogilvie.
Okay, go on, Az.
All right. Well, I'm going to go for it. Seems to always be a Desmond. Obviously, I want us to win, but I'm kind of thinking of our fixture mini league. A 2-2 seems to be a common scoreline at Fratton Park between us.
Certainly does.
Owen Moxon a couple of years ago, Rob Atkinson show last year. So this year I'm going to go 2-2 as well. Goal scorer, it is hard because after seeing that the other day, I just think that fucking no one's going to score. I don't really know how we managed to get Jacob Brown to score, to be honest.
Good ball by Swanson.
It was a great ball. Funny that. You actually put a decent ball in the box, it doesn't hit the first fucking man, and we actually score. Crazy. Who would have thought? Deary me, goal scorer. I'm going to go for Connor Chaplin.
He took mine.
I feel like Battle of the Tens, him and Sammy Schmodix.
Also, I just think I agree with Daz. He was probably the only one that looked all right, and he scored a lovely finish. It's just a shame the ball went out of play.
Yes, it was a shame.
Yeah, but if that ball didn't go out of play and he pulled it back, we would have missed.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
yeah. Go on then, Russ.
Who'd you go for, Daz? Ogilvy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna go stupid with the scoreline because I don't care. 3-0 Pompey.
Wait.
Ebro Adams to score against his old team.
Oh, I like that.
He was my backup in case someone said Chaplin. Right, that's it then, boys. Yeah. Good luck tomorrow night. Sorry I can't be there, but the Mrs. birthday comes first.
You two, honestly.
Yeah, well. We know we love our partners more than I love you.
That's just not very nice, is it?
But yeah, no. Good luck tomorrow night. I'm sure you both smash it. I'm sure it'll be a good listen. I can't wait to listen to it myself. And then I'm not going to say who, but are we still looking like we might have a special guest next week?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Depends on happenings that are going on, but it's kind of
it's up in the air, but we might have a special guest next week. We'll confirm once we 100% know. So good luck tomorrow, boys, and I'll speak to you both next week.